In part 11 of Living in by Kingdom Abundance, I shared with you how wives are to submit to their husband, to their own husbands, as the Lord. Go back and look at part 11, Gus Kelly, Words of Encouragement, to see what I said about that. It's impossible, and in some cases, even ungodly, for a wife to submit herself to her husband when her husband's not loving her the same way Christ loved the church. Ephesians chapter 5 verse 25. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Christ gave himself up while we were still sinners. Christ died for us. While we were his enemies, while we were hostile toward him, Christ died for us. That's the extent that husbands are to love their wives. Christ came to seek and save what was lost. His very purpose for coming to earth was effectively to give his life up, to die for us, that we might be saved. That's the attitude that husbands are to love their wives, where they're dead to themselves, they're dead to their ambitions, they're dead to their desires. They're submitted to Christ, his will, and to the benefit to what is best for their wives. Husbands, that sort of love is only possible once you're submitted to Christ. And you can only submit to Christ to that degree when you are fully convinced of the love that Christ has for you. I was a pastor for about 12 or 15 years. In my head, I fully believed God loved me. But in my heart, I never believed he loved me at all. I was never able to receive God's love for me because I never believed he loved me. I used my wife to meet God's need of love in my life. Instead of me loving her like Christ loved the church and giving up everything for her, I used her to meet God's need of God's love in my heart. Why? Ephesians chapter 2 verse 8 says, it's by grace you have been saved through faith. It's a gift of God. It's by grace you have been saved through faith. It continues to say, it's not by works that any man should boast. However, the denomination I grew up in taught it's by grace you have been saved through faith. It's a gift of God. But you have to read your Bible, you have to fast, you have to pray, you have to. You have to do all these works. They never taught it's not by works that any man should boast. Your salvation is effectively, it's by grace you have been saved, but you constantly have to work to earn it, to keep it. And because of that, I lived under so much condemnation. I lived under so much, I could never receive God's love for me because I never believed he loved me. Because I was effectively pouring new wine into old wineskins. And Jesus said, if you pour new wine into old wineskin, the wineskin will burst and you'll lose the wine and the wineskin. Follow me as we look in our next teaching on pouring new wine into old wineskin.